When does my power of attorney end? Well, to answer that question, we really have to start out with an understanding of what type of power of attorney you have. And in general, there are going to be two types of powers of attorney. There's going to be the power of attorney over property or finances. That's where you name somebody to be able to pay your bills, manage your bank accounts, investments, etc. And the second is the power of attorney for health care, in which you are going to appoint someone to make medical decisions for you. Now let's look at the power of attorney for property, sometimes called a DPOA or a DPA, durable power of attorney. But a power of attorney for property, you can really have two kinds of those too. Looking at someone who might be helping someone to sell a house as an example, you might give them a very narrow power of attorney that only authorizes them to sign documents that are necessary for selling the house. That's an example of a narrow power of attorney. Or maybe you're going to give them power of attorney only to manage investments for you. Again, a narrow power of attorney over property. Or you can have a general, broad power of attorney over property that essentially authorizes your agent to handle all of your property, file your tax returns, sue in your name, make gifts, manage the assets. So you might have a very narrow or you might have a very broad. Now, a power of attorney over property, though, can also be durable or non-durable. A non-durable power of attorney is one that the authority of your agent is no longer available if you become incapacitated. So there's no authority by your agent to act on your behalf if you are in fact incapacitated. That would be a non-durable power of attorney. A durable power of attorney, on the other hand, that authority continues even if you are incapacitated. Now, your power of attorney has to have very specific language in it in Michigan to make it durable. But the normal power of attorney that most clients will have, that we will recommend to them, is in fact going to be a durable power of attorney. That would be a power of attorney where the authority continues even if you are incapacitated. So let's look at the other end. When do they become effective? Well, a durable power of attorney for finances can become effective upon executing it, so it might be effective immediately, or it might be designed to only become effective upon incapacity. For example, maybe you have to have certification from 2 physicians to prove that you are incapacitated. So again, could be effective upon execution, could be effective on incapacity, or it might be a hybrid. Oftentimes, we'll prepare a durable power of attorney for finances that might be effective upon execution as to your spouse, but only effective as to others if you are incapacitated. So there's a number of ways that a durable power of attorney can be drafted to become effective. Power of attorney for health care. Power of attorney for health care essentially becomes effective in the state of Michigan when your treating doctor is unable to communicate with you about your medical care. I mean, the idea behind it is if you can't communicate to the doctors about what you would want to be done, who is it that your doctors can rely upon? Which basically means it cannot be effective if you are still able to communicate with your doctor about what you would want to have happen. So, those are the couple types of powers of attorney that we look at. Those are the times that those become effective. So, let's look at answering today's question, though. When does the power of attorney end? That, again, is going to depend upon the power of attorney itself. If you have, for example, a narrow power of attorney that authorizes someone only to sign documents to sell your home, well, that power of attorney is going to end once your home is sold. The end will essentially be defined in the document itself. A non-durable power of attorney ends upon incapacitated. So if you have a non-durable power of attorney and you become incapacitated, that non-durable power of attorney is going to end when you become incapacitated. Now, the normal, though general, durable power of attorney that most people think about, as well as a power of attorney for health care, where you're naming someone to make medical decisions, both of those are going to end upon your death. And there seems to be, at least in the durable power of attorney for finances, some confusion about that. We oftentimes hear people come in whose parent has passed away, and they say to us, well, I have power of attorney, so why can't I just go to the bank and manage the bank account that my mom or dad had? Well, that's because the durable power of attorney ended when mom or dad died. So whatever authority you had to manage those accounts ended when mom or dad died. And that's important for another reason. Very often we're going to be dealing with children, let's say, of a client whose parent is ill. And maybe they have power of attorney for their finances, but we need to make sure that they understand that it will end when the parent dies. Thus, there can be some urgency sometimes to go to the bank or take care of the finances or take care of the investments or get things squared away before the power of attorney is going to end at death. Obviously, if Amanda and I can help you put together your durable power of attorney for finances and or a power of attorney for health care, please contact us and we'll be happy to talk to you about how we can help you prepare those documents.